Robert Scheinfeld here. Welcome to this first video in the series that I'm calling A Spiritual Teaching for Modern Times. Now, all of the videos in this series are designed to be watched sequentially. One builds upon another. So no matter how attractive or appealing or intriguing or interesting some of the other titles may be, I strongly invite you and suggest that you move down them sequentially. You'll get so much more out of them, I promise. There are so many myths and what I call lies, illusions, and stories that masquerade as truth, as spirituality. And so I want to prepare you for the fact that in this series, I am going to take a brutally honest, direct, and very blunt look at a lot of the kinds of things that I'm sure you have become familiar with on your journey. So be prepared for a lot of directness, a lot of bluntness, and a lot of what I call myth busting. In this particular video, we're going to start with the basics, the start of the journey, or what I call the big problem. And then we'll move into what I call the solution to the big problem, which is what I know that you're most interested in. But we have to lay a proper foundation of the problem before we can get to the solution. So on that note, let's dive right in. The odds are you are here for one of two reasons, or maybe both. First, you want to change something in your life, your business, your career, all of that I'm just going to refer to as your life. It may have something to do with money and finances that you want to change. It may have something to do with relationships. It may have something to do with the body, health and wellness, weight, attractiveness, other issues related to the body, health and wellness. It may have something to do with business or career. It may have something to do with emotions, or it may be a mix and match of one or more or all of these human experience dynamics. The second possibility as to why you're here is that you have a passion for, and I'm just using that label because it's the way I felt, I had a passion for personal growth and development is one label for what I'm talking about here, what I'm pointing to. Spiritual growth and development is another label. Expansion of consciousness is another label. Uncovering and consistently experiencing the truth with capital T's, or whatever other label you'd like to apply to what is typically called spirituality. Common labels for that second target, the spiritual piece, we'll call it, include enlightenment, liberation, and illumination, divine or infinite consciousness, non-duality, presence, awareness, and many more. There are so many labels that are used to point to what's basically the same thing. There are many myths about such states of consciousness, I'll just call it that, and the myths themselves are part of, let's call it, the problem, which we'll be going a lot more into in this segment. Ironically, the path into both targets is the same. The first target being to change, fix, or improve some aspect of your life. The second target being the spiritual piece. The path into both targets is actually the same. It is not two different paths, two different dynamics. But the path isn't where you think it is. It isn't where we're generally told that it is. And navigating that path isn't what you might expect. Truly navigating that path with a capital T. Keep both targets in mind, whether it's one or both that brought you here, as you move through this guided tour and all of the segments that are part of it. The spiritual journey or what is often called seeking, is triggered by a desire to hit one or both targets that we just discussed. When the seeking begins, you discover lots of tools, personal development tools, spiritual development tools, meditation tools. The list is endless. You discover a lot of tools that are supposed to get you where you want to go. You discover a lot of techniques and strategies, similarly, that promise to get you where you want to go, to help you to change, fix, and improve what you want to, and to open up into the spiritual piece, the truth with a capital T. The messages in all those tools, in all those techniques, in all those strategies are basically the same, although the language varies and the details vary. But the messages are basically the same. Go inward and do something inwardly to get what you want, or use some sort of technique to attract or manifest what it is that you want. But the tools and techniques, in all of their infinite varieties, don't work at all, don't work consistently, don't take you where you want to go, create temporary changes that don't last, or if they do help you to fix or change or improve one thing, other things break. So ultimately, lack of a better term, you're no better off. One problem has gone away, but then another one surfaces. They help you to manifest one desire, but similarly, zillions of other desires are present or surface. So the net of it all is a never-ending assembly line of things that you want to change, fix, or improve in your life, including the opening into the spirituality piece. I told you I was going to be very blunt and direct, and this here, what you're seeing on this particular slide, is one very important part of it, because what you're looking at on the screen here is what generally happens on the personal development path and the spiritual development path if you look and you're brutally honest. The old patterns, as a result, repeat. And the feelings of struggle, especially internal struggle, continue. It's kind of like dogs at the racetrack. And if you look at the foreground of the picture, you'll see it's kind of blurry, but you'll see a rabbit. And the way things work with dogs at the track is the dogs are taught to chase the rabbit. They're motivated to chase the rabbit. But no matter, by the design of the sport, no matter how strong they are, no matter how badly they want it, no matter how hard they try, no matter how hard they train, no matter how fast they are, they're never going to catch the rabbit. Because the design of the sport is that the rabbit is always kept just out of reach. And that's what happens with so many of us in what you'll soon discover I call phase 1 of the human game. This assembly line that I just referred to, forever chasing, but never actually catching the rabbit, so to speak, that's what we really want in our lives. Another way to look at it is like a hamster on a wheel, although here you see a human on the wheel, and the idea is run, exert all kinds of energy, spend all kinds of time, but ultimately not go anywhere of significance. Disillusionment surfaces ultimately on that journey of run, but never get anywhere. Chase the rabbit, chase the rabbit, chase the rabbit, but never really catch it or be able to hold on to it, no matter how hard you try, what technique you use, or what you do. And then ultimately, that disillusionment deepens. Now, your story may be different, but most of the people that find their way into what I call my sphere of influence have had the kinds of experiences that I just described for many, many years, perhaps decades, of wanting so badly to change, fix, and improve specific parts of their life, business, career, whatever. To want to produce particular results, achieve particular goals, have particular experiences, and either not have that happen at all, or have it happen briefly, kind of like a tease by the universe, but then have it yanked away and not last, not stay. And I know how that feels. I know how it can drive you crazy. I know how it can drive you nuts. I know how it can make you so angry that you feel like smashing something, or even though you wouldn't really do it, killing somebody or something or whatever, because it just, I put in the time, I put in the energy, I've spent the money, I've done my due diligence, I've been a good boy, I've been a good girl, I've done all the right things. Why isn't this stuff changing? Why can't I get what I want? It's absolutely maddening. Endless rabbit chasing is not accidental. It was designed to be that way. And in the continuing segments of this guided tour of the teachings, I will explain why it is that way and shed a lot of light on this particular dynamic. We literally get hypnotized, just to use a very powerful and graphic word, into focusing on the rabbits. Rabbits being metaphorically what it is that we think we really want, the things that we think would really make a difference in our lives, the things that we think, boy, if I really had that, my life would just really be perfect. We literally get hypnotized into focusing on the rabbits. And while we're hypnotized, our vision is blurred about who we really are, why we're really here, playing what I call the human game that we'll be talking more about in the next segment, how things really work while we're here versus what we're told about how they really work while we're here, what we really want, and most importantly, how to get what we really want. Our vision is blurred about all of these things, no matter how many stories we tell ourselves or how many exercises we went through at self-improvement, personal development, spiritual development seminars or workshops or whatever, where we were helped to get clear on our goals and what we really want. The truth is, to once again be blunt and direct, our vision is blurred about all of this, no matter how clear we may think that it is.